Okay, so this is for making a fermented smoked sausage like a Spanish salchichón. And I've got 2,234 grams of venison mixed with pork belly. You can see the pork belly's whiter here. It'll eventually all get mixed in together. It's 80% venison to 20% pork belly. And so to that, I need to add 2.7% salt, which ends up being about 60 grams. And next we need 5.6 grams, so it could be up to 6 grams of pink curing salt. This isn't Himalayan salt. You can see it says curing salt number 2. And this is what keeps you, especially with wild game, from getting nasty things like botulism in your sausages. Put that in for the extra half. And the sugar, we need about 8 grams. So a spoon. Sugar, 8 grams. I'll put it back in, just in case we got some of the pickling salt with it. 8 grams. I'm going to mix that up and stir that all through our pork and venison mixture. So we're giving that a good mix so the sugar and the curing salt and the other salt are as evenly distributed as we can. And then the next goal is to get it evenly distributed through this meat. And as I mix, the pork will mix in more with the venison, but I just put a layer on and then with very clean hands, start mixing that in, getting it all through the meat. To that, I'm adding, this is about 25 grams of coarsely ground black pepper per kilo. So you can figure out how that is as you do your mix, because that's the predominant flavor, is a kind of a peppery sausage, but smoked as well. And the final thing we're going to add is about 1/4 cup of wine for each kilogram of meat mixture. Again, just working this through, and before stuffing them into the sausage casing, I will put this in the fridge to cool down again. Okay, so I've got the sausage stuffer attachment put onto my meat grinder, and I've soaked these collagen casings. You have to read to make sure that you buy ones that you can soak, or if they say don't soak, obviously just use them as is. I like to soak them because I think it makes them easier to tie off the sausages, and you just keep feeding that onto the nozzle of the sausage stuffer. That's about as much as I'm going to get on there. So you need to tie one end off, obviously. I'll save that for later because I might need it. Write that down. And then with some butcher twine, just make one overhand knot like that. Flip this bit back in there and do a double overhand knot. So over once, over twice, and you'll make sure that none of the sausage stuffing comes out of there. And now I'm going to have to do voiceover because this is about to get loud. So I've got that to about the length I want it, and I kind of tie off as I go. So make them all about that length so that they'll hang in my curing chamber. Tie that off. And I'm going to tie off the next one as well. I want to keep the ropes fairly long because you're going to use them to hang the sausage. So you want enough to be able to play with. And you keep stuffing. And I'll cut that one off right there. Okay, there are our pile of sausages. Oh, I didn't get that one clean. There's our pile of sausages. These are going to go for 24 hours in my drying chamber, but it's going to be at about 80% humidity and about 22 degrees Celsius, which is what, 75, something like that. And that's going to start the fermentation process, and then I'll smoke them tomorrow. So there are the sausages hanging in my little fridge, and you can see over here it's about 74, the bottom number, 74 humidity, and I'm trying to get it higher than that, and it is going up now. I just opened the door so it dropped, and it's about 72 Fahrenheit, which is what, 20 some degrees, 22 degrees Celsius. So this is 24 hours later, and I've got my little cold smoker going, which is literally a box with a cold smoker unit in the bottom. And I'm just going to let those smoke there for probably 3 or 4 hours. So here's the finished product. That has been curing for, it was about 10 days, and it lost 30% of its weight. I'll just slice some and try it. You can kind of see what the inside looks like there. I like to pull the casing off. And that's incredible. There's no gaminess to it. The smoke comes through. And these, because they're cured, you can just hang them up in your fridge, or not in your fridge, but you can just hang them up in your kitchen. And they'll continue to get a little bit harder. They don't need to, the texture is great. That works perfectly. I'm doing that again.